Hey Scorpios, and welcome to your March 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And what an empowering and changing month it is for us all. We are going into March. This is the true new year, the true astrological new year. We are moving from Pisces to Aries time, the ultimate ending and the ultimate new beginning. So what does that look like for you, Scorpio? I hope you are ready, and I hope you are not still kind of stuck in a really difficult cycle of like flashiness and like feeling unhealthy, feeling like you don't know what you want. This is really a month where you understand more what you want. And, looking at these cards, it feels a bit more monotone, a bit more gray than it has over the last few months. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that this is a really imperative time for you to be sticking your nose to the grindstone. Also an imperative time to be accepting the truth, to be getting in order what has been needed to get in order for a long time, and to see how protected you are as well. There is an immaculate sense of protection within this reading. I'm looking straight at the Hermit as your central theme, and we've got a lot of cards beneath that can sometimes be a bit difficult. Eight of Swords reversed, those aces reversed. I have the opinion that an ace is never bad, whether it's upright or reversed, but they can come through in more different types of ways when they are reversed, but we'll talk about it. But wrapping it all up, you have the Hermit, which to me is the ultimate symbol of protection, the ultimate symbol of light in the darkness, and sort of a guiding figure for you to look to throughout anything which might become difficult, which I think is something that's been so absent for Scorpio lately. There has been, not completely, not for everyone, but it's sort of just been hard to, find yourself within it all, or when things become difficult, when things become hectic. It's like there's not a source to like look towards of like how to fix it. It's like really hard to rack your brains in the understanding of like, how do I make this change that I know is necessary? I know the change is necessary, but how does that start? What do I look to make that happen? I feel like that's been so absent for so many of you, and lo and behold, this month in March, that is no longer absent. And that is the really the high point of this month for you, is no longer feeling like there's no push or there's no motivation, no true ability to transcend a difficult situation. It might not be the easiest thing in the world still, but you're going to sort of have a spectrum and a scope, I want to say, for how it works. Likewise, there could be someone coming in to help you as well. You need to take the first steps yourself before that happens, but the Hermit can also simply be like someone who's very strong coming in to offer, a helping hand during a difficult time. There are certainly themes of solitude this month for you, Scorpio, and I feel that comes through specifically in the beginning of the month, before we get into the new year, before we get into Aries time. But I think that it's okay, and I think that it's needed. Again, with the Hermit being your central theme, you need to see what you feel when you're alone. I feel that people can distract you this month, and I also feel that they can inhibit the messages that need to come through, as there is a new creative path being opened to you during this month, and there has been for the last few months, and people can kind of distract from that. You might sort of be looking at yourself and be thinking, why haven't I made more progress than I have? Why haven't I, done the book or the album or whatever it is? And you kind of look around and you're like, well, I've sort of been distracted, and I've distracted myself, really. I've not allowed myself to do the work that I've needed. I've convinced myself that I can't. I've convinced myself that I can't surround myself with the people or the things or the environments that are conducive to, finishing and to following through with this creative journey that I'm on. March definitely opens up a new path toward a new journey for you, Scorpio. There is a sense of finally having the thing that you need to do it, is the best that I can sort of articulate the message. Sort of understanding what you needed to do in the past, yet not having the tools or the materials to make it happen, is no longer a thing for you. This is a month that gives you all the necessary tools to accomplish what you need to do. Will you use them? Because something else you have to see in March, and hopefully before the new year, I'm looking towards that Eight of Swords in the second week, and with King of Swords too, we'll talk about it more when we get there, but you have to see how you've trapped yourself, and you have to see how you've not allowed yourself to create, how you've not allowed yourself to do it. And it's through seeing that you have the ability to start to do it again. You have to see how things might have gone too slow, or how there was not a strong willingness to transcend in order to transcend here and now. Because this month can feel a bit expensive. It can feel a bit costly, energetically, monetarily. There's a sense of having to give a lot and to make a lot of decisions and to perhaps even make some difficult decisions. Am I going to, move? Am I going to stay where I am? Am I going to change jobs? So those decisions for some of you will echo through till about May, but after then it does feel that you've made the decisions and you have really soared. I sense like you are gaining altitude, like, the eagle, it gains altitude, and then as it's gaining altitude, it works hard, but then it just soars and coasts. It kind of, I don't want to say plateaus, but it does. It doesn't have to try so hard anymore. You're building up to a period of time where you don't have to try so hard anymore. So there might be like a burst of effort that has to happen in the beginning of March. And this is kind of a difficult thing because we would want to see that actually towards that third and fourth week. But for some reason for Scorpio, it's actually coming through in the beginning a little bit as well. And there are a few different ways I can interpret this. This is kind of minute and very, integral to your energetic framework right now. But what we want to see if we're working well with the natural energetic paradigms is a passive pull inwards in the beginning of March in the first and second week, an easiness, an understanding, a calm, comfortable retrospection. And then by third and fourth week of March, we want to see a burst of energy, a rebirth, a, coming to age, sort of restarting, really. And again, like a burst of energy that accompanies that. For some reason, it's looking a little bit switched up for you. And I was going to initially say that you might just have that, but I think you need to focus and sort of plan out to make this more natural. How can you do that, Scorpio? How can you save that burst of energy towards the end of March, work with the natural frameworks, and then allow this sort of pull back to happen in the beginning? I really feel that it's best for you. But I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, Scorpio is always that sign that's like doing everything at the wrong time. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm a Scorpio, but it's like when it's natural to be resting, you're up. When it's natural to be up, you're resting. You're a nocturnal sign. So I think that a large part of your test this month does come from like, will you do what's easy? Will you do what's simple? Will you do what's natural? Or will you force the opposite to happen in the wrong space? There is a sense of doing what is not natural at the wrong times, like not sleep, like being awake when you should sleep, sleeping when you should be awake, eating when you're not hungry, not eating when you are. How can we use this period of time, Scorpio? It's such a big deal. And again, I know that this message might even sound a little bit boring. I'm sorry, but this month is a little bit, it's dealing with the things that feel a little bit boring, but are having a big impact on your overall health, your overall vitality, and your overall ability to utilize the energy around you. Nonetheless, despite some of these, again, archetypes being just slightly monotone, there is a lot coming for you in March. Eight of Wands, it is reversed, but nonetheless, Eight of Wands, Knight of Swords, the Hermit, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. There's a lot here. There's a lot coming in, perhaps new jobs, new sources of benevolence, new sources of wealth for some of you, and opportunities. There's like opportunities here to do what you've needed to do, and I really can't stress that enough. It might not look like it, but I think for those of you who have sort of a seasoned tarot eye, you can kind of see how throughout this, even though there are like some difficulties and perhaps stagnation and slowness, there's also a large sense of opportunity and new opportunity around you. It comes up in a sort of roundabout way, but it's here, okay? It's here, and you guys need to see that, and it's coming right in at that third week. I'm seeing most of that after that third week, after the equinox, okay? Which, speaking of which, Scorpio, I meant to mention at the beginning of the video, I'll come straight back to this message. I am doing a live stream for the equinox on March 20th on my channel at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys should definitely write that down or, make a reminder to come to that. I would love to see you all there. But yes, equinox is coming through. I'll put something in the description box about it. Equinox is happening in that third week, and there is something completely new that is coming in for you. Two aces, okay, Scorpio? Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles in your equinox third week. Like, what an incredible new beginning. They are both reversed, so it's not going to come from the place that you so much expect it to. Likewise, you can't force it to come from any individual space. I feel like that might be more so the way that it's coming through for Scorpio, is like you might sort of be forcing these new beginnings in a place that you feel is right for them, whereas they come in a place that's ultimately best for you. So if you've been like a really integrated Scorpio, and like a Scorpio who's really, come to a highly evolved state, like maybe you might know, like, yeah, this is best for me. This is where the new beginning is coming from. Yeah, and then it happens. But it's going to come where it needs to be. So that new beginning is going to come from the sector of your life where it needs to be. And you can turn your back on that easily. Like you, for example, like you want to do this really flashy glamorous thing, and you're like, yeah, I want the new beginning here, but in reality it's like your health, or your like, or a creative project that has been, held back for a long time. Those are the things that need the new beginnings, and that's where it happens. And it's like you're facing toward this thing, which is like not really the right thing for you, and like you have this beginning starting over here, but your back is turned to it. I could see something like that, but you're gonna know it's not gonna be this unknown thing. You're gonna make that choice. So and you're going to sort of willingly see, okay, I see that there's a new opportunity here, but no, I don't really want to do that. And that's the only way that you can really squander that. But I really challenge you to have a broad view of where all your ducks are, throughout all the sectors of your life, and sort of be cognizant to these slight new changes, new opportunities that come up within each one, and then sort of go into your deliberation, like, is this right? Is this what I want? And you'll see some pretty neat things if you let yourself during that time. Let's go ahead and get into the week-to-week Scorpios. In the first week of March, you have Two of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by Knight of Swords. So there's an indecisiveness here. You've probably felt it for the last few months. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know which decision to make. I don't know whether to stay, whether to go. There are all these things here and there, and I can't have both. What do I do? So you stay still. Two of Pentacles reversed. It deals with lack of motion. That's rooted down by Knight of Swords, so that's not really going to work anymore. There's going to be a quite strong discomfort for you in the oncoming future relating to stillness. And you've had like all this stillness. Jupiter in Scorpio, depending on which house that was in for you, really, made you maybe feel very still. And there was like this big expansion of like, sitting and understanding and, getting up into those higher ideals. And, it's hard to maybe have a lot of physical energy when you're doing that. So you're like, no, not anymore. And you kind of want to get into your body there. You kind of want to maybe start exercising, or you want to, start running, start jogging, start having motion to channel out some of this very deliberating energy. It's like a deliberating thing coming up for you this month, where you're like, this is not a new thing for you, I know, but you're like seeing every single possibility and every perspective on every possibility, and it's like kind of exhausting. You've got to channel some of that energy in a new way. New ways to channel energy. Big thing coming up for you throughout this entire month. You might not really have the answer to it until about third or fourth week. But that's going to deal a lot with what you need this month. Is not so much the new place or the new project, and those things are vital too in a way, but it all starts really with a new channel of energy. And perhaps that's how you should look at new projects, new relationships, new places to live. Does this channel this sort of tumultuous energy I've had for a while now in a positive way? Do I feel like it's releasing when I'm in these spaces? And then that would be a good way to gauge what is the right move for you. Week number 2, King of Swords, rooted down by 8 of Swords, reversed. Okay, there is a trauma cycle that you have to get good with during this week, really, is how I would explain it. I do feel there is retrospection here. I do feel there is closure with the past here. And it might echo even for a little while after the equinox, but you want to, despite those echoes, come to a point where you're done with it. And maybe some of you are already there. I hope you are. But this thing from the deep past, this thing from for some of you, it might even be more recent past. Past trauma, fear, scary things happening, feeling trapped, feeling like you don't have autonomy, feeling controlled, feeling taken, feeling tremulous in your energy. 8 of Swords reversed. There has to be a logical understanding and like computation with King of Swords holding that up of how that happened, why it happened, and why you are now where you are. Like sort of an equation. I always look at the Swords court as an equation and as a formula that's coming through. and sort of a light bulb moment about what that is and what it represents for you. So, what leads you to feel trapped, Scorpio? You need to get clear on that formula. Yes, perhaps look back at the old pictures, look back at the old messages, look back at all of these like details from the past. And can you see new things in them? Like new things that you didn't see in those pictures, or new results, or like new, like seeing, maybe I feel that some of you will maybe find something from the past during that time. And this might not even be right for some of you. I'll get into the other message that I'm feeling for it in a second. But some of you are going to find or discover old things from the past during that time. And it's important to accept them and understand them. It's not really about making something new with them or reaching back out. It's about just clicking it and like understanding, like let the understanding come through during that time. For some of you who aren't feeling so connected to the past during that time, it feels more likely that you are dealing with your own control dynamics. It could reflect in people around you, but I feel you're going to be thinking about how you exhibit your control as a person, how you keep yourself constrained, how you hold yourself back, how you are conserving your energy as well. Eight of Swords reversed can sometimes speak of holding back when you don't need to, being too meek, being too passive. So think about if it's time to maybe become more active in your display of energy, and if it's time to, open up a little bit more, coming out of the shell. For those of you perhaps with some Cancer placements, like second week of March, you kind of are in the shell. And by the third week, Ace of Wands reversed, rooted down by Ace of Pentacles reversed, I hope that you are ready to come out of the shell, because huge new beginning for you. Again, even though those aces are reversed, to have two aces in the week of the new year, completely new cycle relating to creative energy, completely new cycle relating to investing energy, so money, material surroundings, how you invest your energy. Those things are getting a complete overhaul. Don't deny that. Don't resist it. I feel like there could sort of be like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to make less money. Oh, I'm afraid I'm not going to do the creative project that I had planned. That could be the case in the very beginning, but it like wraps you back around to a place that's way better than where you are coming into that. It's like you could maybe be making a very average salary during that period of time, and you might see, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to take a bit of a pay cut. But through that pay cut and through working less, you find what ends up making you like a billionaire in the future. Whereas if you just keep pushing your nose to the grindstone and you keep like making yourself do the thing that you've been doing for the last few years, no matter what, you like continue on with that like ordinary salary for like till like the end of time, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's nice to have that security and stability, and it's there, but like, how can you rise higher? How can you create the space in your life to heal, to get the insufficiencies and deficiencies handled, and to start the new projects that you've wanted to do once those things are in order? Do not doubt this week. Do not doubt the end of this month, really. Do not doubt this next year, because you can often see in the third week of March that something there is established that creates a paradigm for the rest of the year. That is the equinox week. Again, come to my live stream here on my channel during that week, March 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll be talking more about this stuff, I'm sure. But yes, you have to see what's there, Scorpio, and you have to not take away from yourself. Whatever you do during that period of time, do not force the old things to keep going. Do not, and this can be in little ways. I'm not saying to create a huge, gigantic, glamorous change in your life. I'm not saying to like take an impulsive leap of faith there. But I am saying to not deny those things if they're right. Okay. And even if you're really enjoying what you're doing and it's been going on for a while now, try to take time and create time to do new things. Try to see what your body wants of you. Like when you're doing your work, or when you're in your relationship, when you're in your house, does it feel good? And if not, and some of you may and may not be able to change those things right now, but how can you establish small new differences, small new things that give you a sense of connection to your current lot in life? This is about making your lot in life enjoyable. That's a lot of what this year for you represents, Scorpio. Enjoying your life again, enjoying and not feeling afraid, and not feeling like you don't have enough, not overspending, but not feeling like you don't have enough, energetically, monetarily, so on and so forth. not feeling like you can't do the creative project, not feeling like you can't do what you're born to do. Those things are fading away, and you can't so much claim them anymore either. No longer is it going to look good to be like, oh, I just can't afford that, or oh, I just can't do that thing that I've wanted to do for a long time that feels natural to me because I have to work. Oh, I can't, take on new things or new opportunities. I'm stuck. That's not going to look good anymore, Scorpio. And that could be a really important thing to realize moving into the third and fourth week as well is, do I want to look that part? Why do I want to look that part? Why do I want to look so meek and unable? This is a time of ability for you. You are becoming more capable with your energy. You are growing. You are healing. So, don't get stuck in not having those things. Week number 4, 8 of Wands reversed, rooted down by Page of Swords. The opportunities are there. So 8 of Wands is a lot of things come in. You're going to have like perhaps new work coming up there, starting something new. I don't know, you're like writing the book or recording the album or doing the creative project, and you see like a lot of opportunities coming in. Try to not let them pass you by. Good time to have a planner, good time to have some kind of task manager or even an assistant. Like for those of you who are like getting up there, this could be a time to like hire an assistant, because I feel like you can miss out on opportunities because they're just so numerous. Make sure you're looking at where the windfall is coming from. Sometimes like 8 of Wands reverse, I think of like there's this windfall coming in, but you're like looking at your phone and missing it. So there's that keeps coming up this month. This theme of like having incredible things come in, but like not really facing it and not looking at it, or maybe being blindfolded. Again, 8 of Swords. Take the blindfold off, Scorpios. Get your eyes off your phone. Maybe there are too many screens. I know that's the case for me. A lot of my work is through a screen. So like my eyes are like feeling murdered lately, and I plan on taking a break from screens in March, and I would recommend that y'all do that as well. I think that the screens and the whole like ocular tension thing is a large contributor to why we're such tense people collectively right now. There are a lot of other things that contribute to it as well. But keep your eyes on the whole picture. See where your benevolence is coming from, Scorpio. That's rooted down by Page of Swords, which says to me that you have a new burst of energy relating to the sword suit, which I love to see, after having King and 8 of Swords and, going through this swords experience of like the last 4 or 5 years that you've had. There is sort of a lightheartedness that comes up about it, really. And a willingness to understand, a willingness to get into the details of like these new things that are coming up. You're going to have vital energy for new things, not such vital energy for ancient, old, worn out things. Also, Page of Swords can be a bit, to me, this is kind of Page of Wands like as well, but it doesn't have much patience for solving things that it doesn't want to. King of Swords, not so much. King of Swords is very mature. It's like, yes, I will solve all the formulas, all the necessary formulas. But Page of Swords is more like, I'm going to solve what I want to solve. So you have both of those in your reading. This could also indicate a need for air energy as well. You guys need to breathe, and maybe there aren't many air signs around for some of you. I think that air signs do come in, and you can learn something from them. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy coming in to teach a lesson this month for sure. And your central theme is the Hermit. You're protected, you're guided. There will be, look towards light. Light will guide you this month. Where is the brightness? Where is the, don't look towards the shadows. This is not a shadow time of year, especially after the second week. There can be a bit of that in the beginning of March, but as a whole, March for you, Scorpio, it's not about shadow work. It's not about, it can be at the very beginning in a slight way. But again, 95% of March is the light path, and it feels to be the light in the darkness for some of you, and there's like a merging, but you need to look towards optimism, I would suggest, and look towards people who have light in them, because the other thing is like people who are like dark, or people who are shadowy, or people who are I don't know, they're just not really enjoying themselves or life. They won't really hold up in your existence much longer. So I don't want to see you have a falling out with that in a more traumatic way in the future. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore to have like extremely sarcastic, pessimistic, hateful people around. Look towards light, look towards guiding forces, look towards people who help you get where you need to be, like where you truly need to be, and people who you can help perhaps as well. It's a helping month on both sides of the equation for you. Anyway, Scorpios, I so hope that this reading has resonated for you. I really enjoyed giving it. I think this is one of the best months for you in a while, really. It's kind of roundabout. There's a roundabout detour-y type of nature to it, but we are having a Mercury retrograde throughout the majority of this month as well in Pisces. I'll be trying to make a video about that, so again, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see when that comes up, because it's going to be a different kind of Mercury retrograde than we've had in a while. Because we had them in fire signs the last 3 times. So now they're going to be in water signs, and it's very, very different. So stay tuned for that video. Probably in like the first week of March or last week of February, I'll put it up. And again, make sure to like write down that my equinox live stream will be happening on March 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can just come to my channel on that day, and you can like set a reminder as well for the video. And you can watch the premiere of my equinox video. And I'll be there chatting and doing on-the-spot readings. They're so fun. I may perhaps do a giveaway as well while I'm there, like I did at the last live stream. So anyway, Scorpios, much love. I hope you guys are doing well. If you would like to contact me or see my process, see my Patreon page or my other social media, that's all below. Likewise, if you would like to book a reading, not a terrible time for readings. I'm not sure how many I will be doing, but if they're available, they will be there. And yes, good luck, Scorpios. Much love. We will be talking soon. Again, more videos, more content coming out on my channel. I'm going to try to start posting weekly videos. We'll see how that goes, but I'll explain that more once I'm like really dialed into that. Much love. Check out that sun, moon, rising sign. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.